Welcome everyone, I'm Drugrug. In this video I'll show you my melee method for killing vorkath. I've failed more kills than I'd like to admit, so I know where most people trip up. I hope to help you save time and to save some GP. In this guide, we'll cover tile highlights, Woox-walking, boss special attacks, 2 different gear setups for the Nezinot face guard and the Serpentine helm, rune pouch setup and usage, like your auto cast for the Slayer staff, your prayer management, auto prayer or quick prayers, traveling tips getting to and from vorkath, banking tips, your inventory setup, any special weapons, and then I'll show you multiple full uncut kills. Vorkath has 4 special attacks you must master: the acid rain, countered with Woox-walking, the fireball, sidestep by at least 2 tiles, the freeze and spawn, immediately cast crumble undead, and the typical prayer deactivation, which you reactivate your quick prayers quickly. In this section there's a lot of info on the screen. Please pay attention or pause if you need to look back. I will explain this in more detail further into the video. This next section is going to be showing the prayer deactivation attack, and then he's also going to show the fireball attack where you have to move 2 spaces. And now comes the freeze attack and the minion spawn. You have to swap over to your Slayer staff and cast Crumble Undead, and then wait until the ice releases you. This is going to be setup 1 using the Serpentine helm. I noted that the salve E is only what you need, but the EI is optimal in case you ever want to begin doing ranged. This is the Nezinot face guard option. It is a much higher cost up front, but it offers prayer bonus and higher strength and attack bonuses. I personally bring chaos runes, nature runes, and dust runes. I bring chaos runes in quantities of 500 or 1,000. So that way, after I get 500 vorkath kills, I can easily separate my profit runes from runes that I brought originally to help separate profits. You know, you don't have to rely on your loot tracker. Don't forget to check your magic bonus. Make sure it does not go under -64, otherwise you're guaranteed to splash. Set up your auto cast for Crumble Undead. With vorkath, like all bosses, don't forget to set up your quick prayers, protect from magic, and piety. This is me showing a travel and banking path going through your POH using your portal nexus to access Lunar Isle. You can use Bird Eye Jack to bank, assuming you have the respective quest completed. You speak to the next banker over, and you can travel to Fremnik port. You can run over to the boat. Torfin is right here by the boat on both sides if you need to retrieve your gear after a death. It's a 100k flat rate. Very easy, very simple, safe. Coming up is our inventory setup for gear set 1. Notice with gear set 2, the main difference is the presence of the anti-venom. If you do not own a spec weapon, especially not a Dragon Warhammer, don't feel bad, just simply replace it with a piece of food and save up and buy one when possible. And what you've all been waiting for. So this is going to be the inventory and gear setup number 1 using the Serp helm. You don't need a anti-venom. Remember to turn your run off. I start in the top corner. And you just start off. That was the prayer attack. Turn your prayers back on. Here comes the big fireball attack. We're going to move over 2 spaces. Remember to turn your run off. He is about to hit me with the freeze attack and spawn a minion. I swap to the Slayer Staff, attack the zombified spawn, swap back to the Dragon Hunter lands, and resume attacking. I didn't just continue attacking, I used the Dragon Warhammer for spec. I hit a 77, and I continue to do damage with the Dragon Hunter lance. That was basically a perfectly executed spec swap. We are coming into an acid phase, so I walked over to the marked tiles. I am beginning a Woox-walks, whatever. So you see that I click on the 4th tile to walk away from vorkath, and then once I hit the 3rd tile, I'm clicking on vorkath to re-approach him and actually attack. You just continue to do this back and forth motion numerous times until the acid phase is over. If you stop moving at any point, you will take immense damage and die within 2 to 3 ticks. Using the Serp helm instead of a Nezanot helm, with lower level gear, you may want to bring an extra prayer pot due to your lower prayer bonus. Here, you'll notice that with equipment setup 2, I start the video earlier. I quick eat a anglerfish and replace it with a shark and proceed to Vorkath's Island. I do this with both inventory setups. It allows you to start at a higher HP than if you drink the Divine Super Combat at Vorkath. It's a little beneficial. A lot of people do it. Experienced players do it for larger, like challenging bosses and things like raids. Woox-walking is named after the player Woox, who created it essentially when vorkath was released, I believe. Here comes another acid phase and another example of Woox-walking, but this is a prime example of do not panic under pressure. If you continue moving and you didn't die, you can keep moving or click further out past tile 3, because tile 3 is all you need to attack and continue your DPS. However, being able to click out to tile 4, 5, 6 in a straight line is very helpful if you need to quick eat 1, 2 foods. That way you can just go right back to fighting. Because sometimes you can take a lot of damage right after that phase ends. You might get hit with a melee hit for like 30 something damage. So if you're real low, below say 40s, I would prioritize eating over the DPS, but anything above that, focus on your DPS and eat after attacks. Typically you want to eat, click on your food as the lance moves forward. So also you want to click backwards, essentially the millisecond that your true tile hits the line 1 against vorkath. Otherwise you're going to be sitting and you won't be moving fluidly. A lot of Vorkath's special attacks and just a lot of his attacks overall can stack, or they can come one right after another consecutively, and it can get very overwhelming for somebody that isn't familiar with all of the attacks that he can do and how exactly you counter them. So getting comfortable, practicing, and really getting comfortable with the motions and just your reaction time to everything. You can use not only the game sounds for every one of his attacks. They cue you before even the animation begins. Or the color of the ball, as like the color of his attack as soon as it starts, gives you a pretty good idea of what it's going to be. It's really just pattern recognition and practice. Another note for during the acid phase is that as soon as it begins, you want to start looking for a section that has 3 spaces. So from line 1 to line 3, clear of acid. If it at least has 3, you can use it. If it has more, it's ideal. 3, you can survive. You can eat, and it's just a lot more click intensive. It's harder to do. I wouldn't recommend it for like somebody just beginning. But once you get familiar and comfortable with doing it, I think you just start to experiment naturally with different methods. You'll find what suits you personally the best. You just have to be patient, be forgiving to yourself, and at least have a decent little cash stack so that way you're not worried about dying the first 20 kills or 50 kills. It took me probably 200 to stop dying consistently, but I'm still just under 2,000 kills, and I still struggle sometimes if I'm not paying attention, or I misclick, or any basic numerous things can cause you to die. There's no reason to be mad or upset, because really it doesn't really matter, because every kill you make at least 100k. I had decided that I was going to lock myself at vorkath almost probably over a year ago now, until I got the pet. I'm not getting lucky, man. My RNG is not on my luck lately. I've got like 40 vorkath heads and no other log drops. It's a little disappointing, but that's why I just keep on keeping on. But it's also just generic loot overall. I take everything that I get, I'll drop my food, and I'll pick up the loot just to secure the loot, because I can bank the loot at least if I die. So that way I still have the loot for, say I die on the 4th kill. I have loot from the first 3, and what do I lose? 2 sharks that I already planned on eating. It's okay. It's really just about inventory management, prioritizing like GP and cost effective, like sacrificing certain things sometimes. But it's also just personal preference, like I was saying. Inventory management during multi-kill trips absolutely matters. Personally, dropping some food or leaving behind your fire runes, which is the reason that I bring only 50. If I had a divine rune pouch, I would obviously bring more and just put it in the pouch, but as I do not. By this point of the video, you should have a solid understanding of vorkath's special attacks, how to, optimize your gear, your rune pouch, your auto cast, your gear swaps, and your inventory management. I don't think that there's much to offer you guys besides allowing you to watch without voiceover and be able to hear the audio cues behind all of the attacks. So Again, thank you guys for watching. This was Drug420, and this was my very first tutorial for melee vorkath.